welcome to Who Dares Rolls. I'm your host, Mike B. This is a special episode. This is a beginner's guide to the UK Games EXPO, I say 2024, but essentially this stands here like a monolithic tribute to the whole thing and will be incredibly insightful and useful, I am sure, to any of you attending for the first time or, well, just for that, really. So, the Expo, what is it? I mean, I've been going to the Expo for about 10 years. It originally started at a community hall, expanded over time to the Hilton, where it stayed there for a few years, and that's when I first encountered it. It was a kind of compact bijou. It is now over 3 to 4 halls, I think. Some of them are for open gaming. The main show, as far as I'm aware, is spread over 2 halls, and that has grown in the last couple of years to encompass nearly all of Hall 2. Basic things you need to be aware of. Number one to be first aware of, it will be chuffing busy. 2 main tips: hydrate, bring fluids, water if you like, although to be fair these days not so safe, you could just lap out of a toilet, but some form of beverage or a rehydration device for you, very useful. And deodorizing is always good. Have a nice wash, a clean the brush up, make sure everything's nice and clean and dusted. And deodorize, because it's a tight hall, it's a warm hall, the pressure bodies in there is huge. No one wants to be living inside an armpit as much as possible as they can avoid. Accommodation, there is hotels all around the area. There's the Ibis Styles, is always a quite popular spot, though that, I'll be honest with you, if you're going to go and stay at the Expo, you're usually going to be looking at booking it about a year out. It is kind of like it is. The prices fluctuate. Always keep an eye on around the local areas. The Ibis at the airport is quite cheap, and to be fair, you can stay at the airport hotels or anywhere around the preceding areas, and actually to get into the NEC is not far. There is a monorail runs monorail, or you can walk it. You can choose to go further out to actual Birmingham city centre. I've never done that. Again, there are bus services, and I believe there is a train sort of drops you very near. So there's options around the area, but I would say kind of think ahead and plan ahead and book ahead. Do not leave it to the last minute, because A, you probably won't get accommodation, and secondly, what you do get, you could probably buy a small house for. It's a huge show with exhibitors coming from around the world. Huge publishers, likes of FFG will be there with Asmodee. There's also a lot of independents, and that's always been the draw for me. Now, if you're going to take this really seriously, you can do your homework. On the Expo site, there is a list of all the exhibitors there and their locations around the halls. So I would suggest if there's specific stuff that you want to go and see, do your homework. Find out where the stand is, find out where you want to go, and I would tick them off early doors if you can. That if there's stuff you want to get there early, you might have to queue, and definitely Friday, Saturday are the 2 main days of when you're going to get that. If you're leaving it to Sunday, there is a strong possibility if there's that really cool thing that you want, it ain't going to be there. But they all come out eventually, so don't sweat it, okay? That's the key thing here. Don't sweat it. You'll get it eventually. You need to be aware the halls are very busy. Hall 1 is usually a press of bodies. It's a lot of people. And if you have social anxiety or any of that sort of stuff, maybe think about that in advance, because it is a bit full on. I often always have a couple of bolt holes to go just outside the front of the hall. There is, if it's a good day, then you've got some grass out there, and there's a roundabout, and there's some areas just to go and sit and chill and go and get some lunch. Speaking of lunch, food. So there is food available. I mean, there's Subways on there. There is a tip. If you're not eating in your hotel, if you can endure a Subway, go to the Subway outside of the NEC halls, because it's actually cheaper than the one within the NEC. There is food available on the site all over the place. There is food trucks outside, some of them outside the NEC, most of them based over the Hilton. They have an array of nice stuff, of burgers and all sorts of stuff, world cuisines. Be aware, though, they often come with a price tag. There is also, however, just a little bit further over, there's like the leisure complex, which is just near the NEC, which has a bunch of stuff and food supplies. There's a Nando's, there's various restaurants of Pizza Express, there's all sorts there, and actually the prices there pretty much the same price you're going to pay here or anywhere else you're eating that food. It's not actually exorbitant, so there is another option. And there's cinema and other facilities there. If you want to take a total break from the whole board game stuff, you can go and do that. Though why you would, I don't understand. But, you know, it's an option. There is entertainment available. There is shows there. There are seminars. There are live shows. There's live entertainment. The Dark Room, amazing. Sold out currently. Always book in advance for those. Nightmare Live is really great. There's a bunch of, as I say, talks from luminaries of the board game industry and all sorts of stuff. Look at the, again, the Expo page site. you will find all of those, and most of them are pre-bookable. I would say, leaving it this late in the show, you're probably not going to get into many, although there is sometimes often late cancellations. So if there's something you really, 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 really did want to see or do or see or smell or eat or chomp or whatever or touch or lick, then you might still get an opportunity to do that. RPGs, they are often running over the Hilton. They're usually fairly long, lengthy events. You sign up in advance, again, via the Expo site, and there will be all sorts of RPG sessions running from the beginners to people not so beginners. If that's your thing, then there. I know Charlie will be there, and I know normally he's dipping his toe in some RPGs when he's in the area. So if that's your jam, baby, then there is some jam to go around there. Bring and buy. Everyone loves the bring and buy. That has been much gnashing of teeth and conjecture over the last few years of bring and buy. It's been beset by many problems, massive queues to drop off your games, massive queues to get into it. There is occasionally treats to be found. Now, if you want to drop games into there, then you'll need to go to the Expo website. You can pre-register up to 20 games. There's a minimum price of £5 now they've put in place for those games. You have to charge at least minimum for £5. You can only put 20 in. I always used to like the bring and buy because there was always a chance of finding that Grail game or that bargain. Less so in recent years, if I'm honest with you. But you never know. Depends what your jam is, what you're looking for. You may find that thing. There's also, to accommodate that and just generally your purchasing of stuff, if you're that way inclined, there is a shop and drop, or drop and shop, shop and drop, where you can go for about £3. They will hold all your stuff and all your bits in a bag for the day, and then you can come and pick it up later on with the ticket and take it away. It's a way if you don't want to be carrying tons of stuff around, and if you're going like Tony likes to do, is buying stuff constantly, then that's a good opportunity. There is also, if you really go to town and are absolutely off the hook, insane and deranged, and buy that much stuff that you cannot get it home with you, there is options to have stuff posted ahead of you. I would say you have to question yourself at that point. Get a handle on yourself, get a grip. No one needs to be doing that. Just get a grip on yourself. Cash or card, as we're speaking about buying stuff, most of the stands these days take card. It can be, if the service is a bit wonky. Cash is always worth having. The bring and buy is cash only. Some of the stands, I don't recall many stands being cash only, but having a cash flow is handy to do, just in case in the eventuality of something goes terribly wrong with the chip and pin or something else happens. Cash is king at this point in time, although be aware of getting it in advance, because most of the cash machines around the Expo area nearly always will be drained after the first 2 hours of fly day. Open gaming and the games library, the Hilton Metropole is open gaming, and that always seems to be the most popular area, and that's the one that runs later into the evening, although again, really you want to kind of find your seat early doors on that if you're going to intend to do that, because it tends to be full up quite quickly, and if you wander over there post show, the chances of you finding space is usually limited. But there is open gaming in the Hall 3, I think it was last year, somewhere around there. Great big hall just set aside for open gaming areas. There's normally space you could find in those. I've never struggled yet, but if you need to, you can go and game there. And the Expo is open, the NEC, should I say, is open to about midnight before they kick you out. Tournaments, yes, so there are tournaments running as well. These are all pre-register events. If you're going to do that sort of thing, cool. Be aware that is going to be at least one of your days. These tournaments are kind of very long-winded. They go on a lot. I know Jamie did a Catan one year, and we didn't see him for a whole day or two, which was nice. But beware of all that. Post-show stuff. Now, if you're staying up at a hotel and around the area, there's usually gaming does take place at some of the hotels, although again it's a case of getting in the lobby early and finding a spot. So if you're going to do that, you can go back, and there's usually lots of gamers in those hotels, and normally you can mingle and see people and play some games. So there you go. There is a very quick, brief rundown of the Expo and some stuff that you could be doing there, stuff you can see. I would suggest, as always, enjoy yourself. The key thing is do what within your limits. Enjoy yourself. There is a lot of stuff there. There is a lot to see. Every year, without fail, I will come away from the Expo going, I miss this, and this. Or there will be a hot game that everyone else talks about post-Expo. You're like, I didn't even fucking see that. Excuse me. I didn't even fucking see that. So it happens. It is always nice or lovely for me is I like to find those gems. I like to find that hidden game that is at the show that kind of grows word of mouth. If you can get that, that's great. If you can find that, that's the kind of the delight of the Expo for me, is finding those gems, those diamonds in the rough that are out there, to discover them and enjoy them and go, oh, and be able to share them like-minded to you people out here now. So there you go. There is my very brief rundown of a beginner's guide to the UK Games Expo. For me, it's my little holiday away from life once a year. And for me, that's what it does for me. For you, it may do something else. Whatever it does for you, enjoy it. That's all I'll say. If you see me there, stay away from me because I tend to be grumpy at these events. But no, if we're around, say hi. I will say hi back. Unless you're asking me at the point in time where I've just got into a fight with a ticket clerk, in which case I may be rude. Sorry. But there we go. There it is. There is the Games Expo. There is a beginner's guide for it. There are some bits and pieces of tips you should know or learn or think. Go along, enjoy yourself, get the games you want to get, play the games you want to play, and share the joy. Until next time, ta-ta. I've been Mike B. This has been Who Dares Rolls, and I maybe see you at the UK Games Expo 2024. If not, I'll see you after. Bye.